Kabul airport has been witnessing mad rush as people continue to flood the airport. In a desperate bid to flee the country, Afghans and other nationals have been thronging the airport to escape this barbaric Taliban rule. At least half a dozen Afghans were killed in the chaos. In an exclusive report from outside the Kabul airport, a sea of humans, including men, women, children, can be seen queuing up right outside, waiting for their turn to enter.
These foreign persons, they want to escape from Kabul. They want to go airport.
Here you can hear the gunshots. US troops also still holding control of the Kabul airport have been firing gunshots only to control the swelling crowd.
This is the North door of airport in Kabul. You see by this the main door of military door for the foreign persons. The low crush of people, the Kabul, when the Taliban is capturing the Kabul, they are coming here, escape from the Kabul. And the military of foreign persons, American and Afghan National Army, they're firing for the peoples. And you see all people, women, children, and guys, everyone came from our home, they want to escape from here. Some guys say we didn't live from the Taliban's flag. Naveed Sultan, India Today, Kabul.
Now, no end to human tragedy in Afghanistan. A day after, in fact, day back to back, you have images, heartbreaking images coming forward of parents passing on their babies to strangers right at the front of the queue at the Kabul airport. Here you have it, the visual coming in where you have parents handing over their infant children to US security forces at the Kabul airport. Kids are the main victims of this Taliban surge. Unfortunately, parents don't feel that their kids are safe at the hands of the Taliban. Parents willing to let go of their children, depart and separate from them only so that their kids can have a better future. They're hoping that the military of the US, the UK, who they're handing their kids over to, take them away from the country to a better, safe place. Watch how these kids are crying, weeping as they are separated from their parents. They're being carried by strangers right to the front of the queue and then handed over to the forces. And what's even unfortunate, this comes right at a time when the gates of the Kabul airport are closed. Now let's take a quick listen to Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, who spoke about evacuation process from Kabul. Let's take a listen.
काबुल से हमारे सभी नागरिकों को वापस लाने का कार्य किया है। पिछले रविवार तक हमारी फ्लाइट्स चल रही थी रोज। उसके बाद नोटैम का नोटिस इशू हो गया, नोटिस टू एयरमैन, और भारतीय वायु सेना का C-130 हरक्यूलिस ग्लोब मास्टर एयरक्राफ्ट को काबुल हम ले गए और हर दिन हम वहां से 130 से 150 हमारे नागरिकों को सुरक्षित घर वापस लेके आ रहे हैं।
There's some big news coming in. Reports of ransacking and searching at the Indian embassy in Kabul are false, say sources. Local staff of the Indian embassy in Kabul say no such incident has taken place. Sources say that, in fact, the consulate in Kandahar and Mazar-e-Sharif could have been searched, but no building has been occupied. All foreign missions are surrounded by the Taliban and cordoned off for common people. Here you have reports of ransacking and searching at the Indian embassy, which came up from isolated sources. We are looking at now the Indian embassy officials there saying that these reports are false, that local staff of the Indian embassy say no such incident has taken place. The consulate in Kandahar and Mazar-e-Sharif could have been searched, but no building has been occupied. All foreign missions are surrounded by the Taliban and cordoned off for common people. Now, as the Taliban continues onslaught in Afghanistan, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has read the Riot Act on terrorism at the United Nations Security Council. Addressing the UNSC meet, Jaishankar took a whale jibe at China, saying that countries should not have double standards on terrorism. Jaishankar reiterated India's stand on terrorism, saying that all forms of terror should equally be condemned and terrorism has no association with any religion, nationality or any ethnic group. Jaishankar flagged heightened activities of the proscribed Haqqani network and took on Pakistan, shaming the neighboring country for harboring terror outfits like Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba, which continues to operate with impunity. Jaishankar urged the UNSC to expose double-speak on the terrorism and not to take a selective view on terrorism. In fact, Jaishankar also spoke to US Secretary of State Antony J. Blinken and discussed Afghanistan issue and agreed to continued coordination.
We must never countenance sanctuaries for terrorists or overlook the raising of their resources. And when we see state hospitality being extended to those with innocents' bloods on their hand, we should never lack the courage to call out this doublespeak. We heard from the briefers of the aggravating impact of the pandemic. What is true of COVID is even more true of terrorism. None of us are safe until all of us are safe. Events unfolding in Afghanistan have naturally enhanced global concerns about their implications for both regional and international security. The heightened activities of the proscribed Haqqani network justifies this growing anxiety. Whether it is in Afghanistan or against India, groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed continue to operate with both impunity and encouragement. It is therefore vital that this Council does not take a selective, tactical, or even a complacent view of the problems we face. There cannot be any exception or any justification for any act of terrorism, regardless of motivations behind such acts. The latest report of the Secretary General has provided another stark reminder to all of us that ISIL, Daesh, continues to pose a critical threat to international peace and security. ISIL, Daesh remains active in Syria and Iraq, and its affiliates are growing in strength, particularly, as we heard from the briefers, in Africa. In our own immediate neighborhood, ISIL Khorasan has become more energetic and is constantly seeking to expand its footprint. This should be taken seriously.
Meanwhile, Taliban has sought good relations with all countries, with your spokesperson saying that they want other nations to respect their values. Here's what they said.
We have a message to the world that we want interaction with all countries of the world based on diplomatic principles and respect. We want good relations, we want a good economy, we want good trading, we want good diplomacy. But in return, we want our values to be respected. Nations should never be allowed to interfere in each other's affairs, and as a result of this, interfering in another country and nation's independence is out of the question.
Now, in yet another bid to unite opposition parties, Congress President Sonia Gandhi has now called for a virtual meeting of like-minded opposition parties today. In fact, India Today has learned that chiefs of TMC, Shiv Sena, NCP and DMK will be attending the virtual meet. The meeting is scheduled to take place at 4 p.m. The agenda of this meet here is aimed to rejuvenate opposition unity and corner government on a range of issues. From Pegasus Snoopgate and farmers' protests, this isn't the first time that the opposition parties have tried to put up a united front against the BJP. NCP chief Sharad Pawar had met with various opposition leaders at his residence in June. Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee also met with a slew of opposition leaders while she was in the national capital last month.
ये तो बहुत अच्छा है, नया शुरुआत है। सब विरोधी दल जो मोदी विरोधी है एक साथ आए हैं। मुझे लगता है इससे उभर के एक इकाई आएगा, विरोधी इकाई।
देश के बहुत से मुख्यमंत्री हैं उसमें और सोनिया गांधी चेयरपर्सन यूपी आज की मीटिंग की अध्यक्षता करेंगी और बहुत से विषय देश में चल रहे हैं उसके ऊपर भी चर्चा हो सकती है। आने वाले दिनों में रणनीति क्या होनी चाहिए। कुछ राज्यों में चुनाव भी है, फिर 2024 का चुनाव है, लोकसभा सार्वत्रिक, तो सभी विषय पर शायद आज चर्चा हो सकती है।
I think it is a very good initiative in the given situation, in the emerging situation in the country. The BJP-RSS combine is posing grave threat to the very constitution of the country. So it is necessary that opposition party leaders will have to come together and work out their strategy, tactics, how to take on BJP-RSS combine.
Karate performance turns tragic as fire engulfs the fighter in Tamil Nadu. 19-year-old Balaji was an avid karate performer and his skit involved use of fire on August 14th. Balaji performed hand movements and then began breaking tiles, going around in circles. And within seconds of his performance, Balaji couldn't control the raging fire and ran towards the crowd. Shocked people immediately doused the fire. Balaji was immediately rushed to the hospital but unfortunately died today. More breaking news coming in. The NIA raids in connection with tiffin bomb dropped by drones. The case there in Jalandhar. Some explosives, boxes and other material recovered from former Jathedar of Akal Takht Shahid Jasveer Singh Road. In fact, IDs were seized after they were dropped by drones on the 9th of August. Here's the NIA raids in connection with the tiffin bombs dropped by drones case in Jalandhar. Some explosives, boxes and other material that's been recovered now from Jathedar of Akal Takht Sahib Jasveer Singh Road. It's a mega developmental blitz there for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in his home state Gujarat. The Prime Minister today unveiled multiple projects at the Somnath Temple via video conferencing. Speaking at the event, the Prime Minister hailed Sardar Patel for showing the will to revive the ancient glory of India. Prime Minister Modi also talked about Bharat Jodo Andolan, which he said was a movement to connect with the past to build India of the future. The Prime Minister also sent out a strong message to the terrorists, saying destructive forces can dominate for some time but can't suppress humanity for long. The projects inaugurated include the Somnath Promenade, Somnath Exhibition Centre and reconstructed temple precinct of Old Somnath. In fact, the Prime Minister also laid the foundation stone of Sri Parvati Temple, which is proposed to be constructed at a total outlay of 30 crore rupees. Meanwhile, TRS took a swipe at Prime Minister Modi, asking why doesn't BJP launch such projects in Telangana.
जो तोड़ने वाली शक्तियां हैं, जो आतंक के बलबूते साम्राज्य खड़ा करने वाली सोच है, वो किसी कालखंड में कुछ समय के लिए भले हावी हो जाए, लेकिन उसका अस्तित्व कभी स्थायी नहीं होता। वो ज्यादा दिनों तक मानवता को दबाकर नहीं रख सकती।
Now, Argentine superstar Lionel Messi has a huge fan base across the world. People can give up anything just to get a glimpse of him, and demands for his collectibles there are now skyrocketing. Emotional Messi very recently shocked everyone when he cried during his last press conference for Barcelona. Now, according to reports, a tear-soaked tissue, which Messi allegedly used to wipe his tears, is now on sale for an astounding price of $1 million.